Welcome to the WrestleFriends Podcast with me, Dave, and I'm here with Mark today.
Good evening, WrestleFriends.
And no Jake. Again. He's ditched us.
He's gone to the casino.
He's putting it all on black.
Putting it all on black.
I was going to introduce myself a little bit different today, but I forgot to do it.
What were you going to do?
I was going to
You can still do it.
I was going to... Can we start? Can we do it? I'm going to do it now.
Yeah.
Hi. Hey, brother. This is Double C. And we're welcoming you to the WrestleFriends Podcast, bruh. Did you like that?
It was, yeah. I felt great.
Did you feel like you were in...
the 80s?
Yeah, like early 90s.
I did. I felt like it was an early 90s promo. So, Double C.
Oops.
To kind of go in straight into it, because people obviously not know who Double C is.
It's me. It's Double C.
If you were a wrestler, Dave, what would your name / gimmick be?
Double C, Mark. Do you want to know what Double C stands for?
If you want to tell us.
Double C is the... I've probably had a longer relationship with Double C than I've had with anyone in my life, apart from my parents and sister. Double C's been with me since WWF Warzone came out on PlayStation 1, and I believe it was the first game where you could create a character.
Yeah, first one I can remember.
So yeah, I created in my friend's house. My first creation was a character called the Convict Connor.
Your surname is Connor, correct?
Yeah, that is indeed my surname. And then later on, because I got a little bit obsessed with Triple H, I decided, hold on, I could shorten that. I could shorten that to Double C, and that was when Double C was born. Double C's never he's never been the same. There's been some character development over the years.
Like Undertaker style.
Yeah, I would go maybe Kane. So like when Double C first started, Double C was he was a big bodybuilder type guy. I think you could probably compare him to Bane maybe of Batman. So he had a mask on and he was Jack Man, and his legs were probably too small for the rest of his body.
Big old roid monster.
Big old Double C. Big old Double C, and he couldn't probably talk or cut a promo, so don't know.
Is Double C American?
I would think so. Well, you didn't know at first, did you? Because he used to wear a mask. He was a bit like Kane. I used to like Kane, you see, when I first saw. So after the sort of cartoon era of WWF sort of died down, I stopped watching it a bit.
So
mainly
like,
because I didn't have.
Can I take you back?
Yeah, you can take us back.
So like roidy, Convict Connor, just a dude, a massive dude with black pants on.
No, wrong. So he's got grey pants on. It's kind of like what a knight would wear. And he's also got like a grey...
Like a knight,
yeah. And he's got...
like chainmail pants?
I think so. I remember vaguely it was all grey. I don't know if it was like an all-in-one, but it was all grey. And he had like blue kegs on over the top of the tights. And then he had a black mask on. So... like not like just a face mask, like a full over the head sort of deal,
like an executioner's mask.
Almost, yeah, you would say so. Just without the pointy bit, maybe. It's just round mask, and it had sort of like. Do you remember like cheesy '60s Batman? And he had like he had sort of like white. He had sort of like white eyebrows drawn out into his costume. So my mask had just like white eyebrows, I think, or white where the eyes would be. It didn't have like a face on. It was
that's
like,
freaky.
It was pretty scary.
So you'd be able to see through, presumably, just like mesh.
Yeah, it wasn't. But it wasn't like.
That is freaky.
It was a freaky guy, Double C. I mean, if you wouldn't want to come up with Double C like on a dark night in a back alley because
he'll rape
your butt. And then over the years, obviously, I started like Kane was good. I like Kane. So I was gonna tell you this.
So taking you back forward from where I took you back, you're past the cartoon era.
I'm past the cartoon era of
96.
WWF. I haven't got Sky Sports because parents didn't have it or whatever. So I stopped watching wrestling for a long time. Boo. Until around about the time that WWF Warzone came out. I would have thought that would have been about 1998.
Yeah, 97, 98.
97, 98. It was my creation of Double C that got me back into wrestling. And
playing on Warzone, creating them.
And kind of being intrigued by Kane, because I think that was my first experience of Kane.
97 by Blood when he
So
like the game was
the game would have been my first experience of Kane, and I think that's what got me back into looking at wrestling again, because I wanted to see who this guy was, and I knew he was related to the Undertaker, and yeah, that's what happened. Then Double C was born, and then over the years, Double C became just a guy. My most latest Double C is quite cool. He's kind of like a biker dude. I've made a Double C for 2K17, just 2K16. He's got my wonderful ginger hair, but it's long, and he's got a big, full-on lumberjack beard, and he's turned into something pretty cool. A lot cooler than I could ever be. Maybe he's just the type of guy I wish I could be.
I think like part of the reason that I would imagine that you love Double C so much is like the history.
I think it's because 1998. Are we looking at 1998?
7.
So how many years is that?
Loads
of years that I've had Double C with me.
So I'm gonna hire a scenario at you.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Chuck one, rat my face.
Right, your face. You've found a wrestling school in the northeast of England. You've been training. You've been training for 6 months. Promoter says you're ready. You're ready for your first match.
Yeah.
We're working Whitley Bay Leisure Centre on the 14th of July. You're great your in-ring work is great. We don't have a character. What's your character, Dave? I'll let you run with it. Who you can? What would you say?
What do you mean? Would I go with old school?
Would you go with Double C? Would you go with Double C at all, or would you think I need something more modern?
That's a tricky one, because like Double C he could be a bit dated, couldn't he?
But it could be like
there was around it like about
because you can't have it like Undertaker is not dated because they kept updating him. But because people aren't going to have the history, only you're going to have the history.
Well, maybe I could start it off again. I could be a masked.
You could go back there, like
I could go back to original. I could never be that big, but maybe I could be like some sort of version of original Double C, and I could maybe start his development that way, and hope that my career is long enough to bring cool Double C into the fold.
But you would go with Double C, like you would be that passionate about it that promoter saying here. You would try and make Double C a reality.
Unless the promoter like laughed at Double C like you did when I told you about it. If the promoter said you can't be Double C because that name is shit, I'd probably have to change my name. But I struggle to get past that.
Yeah, I've
never actually had a backup plan.
I want Double C to become a reality. If anyone who has any artistic skills who that might be listening, I would love someone to do a sketch of Double C. Where could they send that sketch or email it?
They could email us, Mark, and they could email us at the WrestleFriends Podcast at yahoo.com. They can look at us up, or they can look us up on Facebook, the WrestleFriends Podcast, or maybe it's on Twitter at friends_wrestle. They can look for us on Instagram, and I think at some point we might be on SoundCloud too.
In the near future, well, we must be on SoundCloud.
We might already be on SoundCloud now
because you're listening.
If you're listening to us, we'll be on SoundCloud. Yeah.
Or even if you're listening, well, like we're planning to go on iTunes later on, so you might be even listening to it even further into the future. But we still would like a drone if that's possible. If anyone's got the time or the inclination and doesn't hate it.
What about creation? So, right, if anyone in the world has still got WWF Warzone for the PlayStation 1,
well, lots of people will have.
Why don't you create them and take a nice little photo of them on your telly screen and send them in. Which is weird, actually. I was in a market the other day at Tynemouth Market the other day, and Mark was very kind. He gave me a PlayStation 1, which I'm yet to get any games for. But I did actually stumble across a copy of WWF Warzone.
I bet it was more money than you were willing to pay.
It was. I got distracted by Grand Theft Auto 2, and I did actually get him to put Grand Theft Auto 2 away. I was going to go and get the money, and then I ended up having to look after Leo instead.
I'll get this. That's interesting. So I don't have any imagination. I also had.
I think you need one.
I also had WWF Warzone back in the day.
Uh-huh.
I didn't create any characters.
Never.
Because I find it untidy. Creating characters, like you should.
What?
You should like. So if you create a character, it's not like real life like the other ones. So it's like messy. They're just hanging around there. So
what do you do? Do you not play modern day?
Well, I played the last game I played was WWE 2K17. Not 17, sorry, 12. Like
really?
Years ago, the one with Randy Orton on the cover.
Uh-huh.
But you have to create Jacob Cass on that for the story mode. You have to create. And I hated it.
Do you not like that?
No.
Because now what you have to do is for the you have to like start in NXT now, and you have to like work your way up with your own character, which is good. But not going to be into that.
So because I have no like memories of creating characters like you do, I've had to like make someone up.
I think we need to set you a challenge.
No, I've done it. What do you challenge?
I think you should set yourself a challenge. Maybe have you still got that game? Have you still got? Have you got any wrestling?
Oh yeah, actually I still have got that game.
I think you need to like create a wrestler.
I've got 2K14. I've never played on it with Daniel Bryan on the cover.
I think you need to go on there, and I think you need to create yourself as a wrestler. Whichever gimmick or whatever it is you're going to talk about right now, I think you should go on and you should make it. And I think you should send me a picture so I can put it on the Facebook page.
That would be fantastic. I may do that. Or I may not, because it'll be untidy.
But that's just shit. You can't go through a whole life not creating
wrestlers.
So I can't get right. So WWF Warzone comes out, right? You've never ever had the opportunity to create a wrestler before
Dave,
in your lifetime.
I'll just stop you there. When WWF Warzone came out, I had the chance to play as Ahmed Johnson. So I'm not going to be passing that up.
Piss that, right? WWF Warzone comes out, and you've been given the opportunity for the first time in your whole life to be a wrestler, and you passed that by.
Ahmed, D-Lo, that's who I was playing as.
Jesus.
Anyway, so
Jesus.
I was sitting the other day, and if I was to debut on NXT, I would wrestle as Maximum Impact Chad Powerstain. What do you think of that?
It sounded like Powerstain.
Like Powerstain.
Stain as in like you've shit yourself.
Right, so maybe it's now you realise why
I'm the Powerstain, man.
I put myself out there. I've been worried about creating a wrestler, and
you could be sponsored by Daz.
You're knocking this down. So Maximum Impact Chad Powerstain, not Stain, has pink tights.
Pink tights?
Like pink main eventer tights, like duds.
Right.
He has a white suit jacket.
Blazer?
Like a blazer,
right,
with shoulder pads.
Yeah.
He has lime green boots.
And
lime green knee pads.
Right.
And he has aviators on.
Wow. Top Gun.
He has a blonde mullet, similar to Ricky Morton off of the Rock and Roll Express. Remember, this is happening. This is happening now, though.
Or what about like Brian Pillman's hair before he was like?
No, Ricky Morton.
No, okay.
Because that is the king of the wrestling mullets.
All right.
Remember, this is now, so this is like, imagine this happening on NXT like now. His theme could be WWE could buy the rights to Danger Zone by Top Gun.
Cool.
His catchphrase would be, "You're gonna feel maximum impact."
You're gonna feel my stain.
No. You're spoiling it.
You're gonna sniff my stain.
He would sell a great beating, and then he would have a monster babyface come back, lots of like fist pumping and like drop kicks to the face and like shaking the ropes.
He's very 1980s.
Well, that's it. It would be like a tongue-in-cheek gimmick.
Like a nod to.
But in this, like, you can imagine him like wrestling like Baron Corbin, and Baron Corbin just like.
Well, what the
mincing him.
What the fudge?
But he would wrestle like a modern style, so he could wrestle but it would just be like the gimmick.
Yeah.
And he's like backstage. He would like try and get other wrestlers to watch VHS tapes of like old Memphis stuff and things.
So is it gonna be like a joke?
Like a joke.
Like a joke
well,
gimmick.
I like a gimmick.
But being but also being good in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like my favorite Tyler Breeze.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I think Maximum Impact Chad Powerstain would be a perfect opponent for Double C.
They could make a good tag team.
No, opponents. Why would they make a good tag team?
Well, because somewhere down the line, you had a dream where me and you were a tag team. What gimmick would that gimmick work for you? If there's two guys, sort of like one my build, one your build. You could be like the high flyer. I could be like the grappler, and then like we'll wear work clothes to the ring, and then we could just.
But then we'll just be called with names.
We'd just be. Well, no.
We'll just be Mark and Dave, the work.
Mark and Dave,
the work tag team.
Well, yeah, you've got. It needs some work, to be fair, but I don't know. What could that be? I don't know.
If anyone could also sketch Maximum Impact Chad Powerstain, not Stain, I would love that. Yeah, like you say, as you can see, I'm not very imaginative. That's the best I could do.
Are you gonna make him?
I'll make him.
I think you should make him.
I'll make him. I wonder if they have mullets instead of hairs.
They're bound to have mullets. The old devil's haircut.
Do you have any other thoughts on Double C or like?
Well,
create
yeah,
a wrestler?
I think somewhere down the line they could make a good tag team with later version Double C, where he's not all jacked up, full of roids, and wearing a mask.
You know what it could be like? It could be like Team Hell No. Like I could be like the little like comedy guy, and you could be like original '97 Double C with the mask, and you could be like. That could be you entering comedy after being this serious killer for so long.
Yeah, that would be cool.
So that Maximum Impact, Chad Powerstain and the Convict Connor as like a odd couple tag team.
Yes, I want to see other people's. So if you've got a creation, feel free to email us on the email, the WrestleFriends Podcast at yahoo.com. Post them on our Facebook page. Post them on Twitter at friends_wrestle. You can, I don't know how that works on Instagram. I don't think you can post stuff on Instagram.
We'll just put Instagram to bed for the minute.
We're winging the social media. Is that it then? We're just going to move on?
No, like, we could talk about wee Bobby Lesnar.
Wee Bobby Lesnar.
So, Dave, who's wee Bobby Lesnar?
So, what were we talking about?
I think that I said that your son looks like a tiny version of Brock Lesnar. I think that's where it started.
And yeah,
he's like blonde hair, blue eyes.
My little boy Leo was a little bit, I wouldn't say obsessed, but if you ask him who his favourite wrestler is, he'll say Bobby Lesnar, oh yeah, or something like that. No, Brock Lesnar, sorry. I've got Bobby Lesnar on the brain.
Brock Lesnar.
Brock. What was he used to call him?
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar.
Lesnar.
Yeah. I think he's quite impressed by Brock Lesnar's. I think for a 4-year-old, it must be pretty impressive to see a person like Brock Lesnar walking around.
He's like not a real person, is he?
No,
but he is. But he's not.
He looks like he actually looks like a monster, doesn't he? So he wants to be Brock Lesnar. I think me and Mark decided that he couldn't be Brock Lesnar because Brock Lesnar already existed.
Yeah.
So he needed to have a different gimmick. Was it Hornswoggle that came to mind?
Yeah, well, we're like
Brock
because
Lesnar with Hornswoggle.
Because he's got like blonde hair and blue eyes.
Leo has,
and he's like, thinking about Hornswoggle, we're like he could be, and it would be funny because Brock Lesnar's such a serious like wrestler. So it would be funny if he had obviously it would be like
this is like end of career Brock Lesnar. It's got to be in it.
And he would come out with like Bobby Lesnar would have like a little pipe, and it would be like dun 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 dun, but it would be like a diddly diddly like because obviously Bobby Lesnar's
he's Scottish,
and
I don't know why, but I just kept thinking, and the kids blew on their thistle whistles, and wee Bobby Lesnar emerged from under the ring. Bit like on the Family Nest, remember that?
Yeah. Mac too blew on his bagpipes. But like, I like the idea of like Brock Lesnar sees Bobby Lesnar as like a nuisance.
Yeah, and he's trying to like kick him off.
Yeah, he's like, I'm trying to wrestle Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania, and then
wee Bobby Lesnar comes in and starts chasing him around.
He's dressed exactly the same. He's got like MMA gloves on and like the black and red shorts with like the sponsors on, but he's got a little pipe and he does a little jig.
And he blows on his thistle whistle, and he comes to the rescue.
So that got me thinking about like, it would be funny if serious wrestlers had mascots, or just any wrestler had a mascot, because like, you know,
mascots don't happen anymore, do they?
You had like El Torito, Hornswoggle.
Is James Ellsworth a mascot?
Yeah, he's like.
Would you cast him as a mascot?
He's like one of the weirdest looking humans I've ever seen.
He pisses me off now. I wish he would go away.
Jake's poem from last week was fantastic.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? Jake's gimmick and wrestler that he came up with. Are we allowed to talk about this, or are we going to make him do it next week?
No, we'll keep it for Jake to talk about.
We'll keep it on that thought.
Yeah, because Jake's is quite funny actually.
Yeah, it's totally Jake, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so send us in your mascots as well, because
who would be funny to have a mascot?
Who would be funny to have a mascot? Roman Reigns would be funny because he's like uber serious.
Roman Baines.
Or Roman Pains or something like that. Roman Pain.
Nah.
What?
Nah.
Don't dismiss it.
Who else would be funny? Authors of Pain with like a mini version.
Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe would have
with a mini.
Door.
Can you imagine him doing like a doink dink pink?
Lots of Samoa
just like
Joes.
3 Samoa Joes following up to the ring.
Yeah.
With three mini Joes. You could like throw them at people. It'd be like bullets.
So like that, and that's what makes it funny. Is like you shouldn't have one.
Nah.
Makes it funny.
And Samoa Joe's probably going to get crushed by Brock Lesnar in a couple of weeks, and
I quite extensly have that in the rest of my.
In your WrestleThoughts.
WrestleThoughts.
Have you?
Slash poem.
Oh, are you starting to feel a bit sorry for Samoa Joe?
Not because nothing bad's happened yet.
No, but it's got him though.
Right. Well, we'll keep it. So, next, let's discuss my mystery match. I've chosen a match for Dave and Jake to watch. Jake's not here, so it doesn't matter if he watched it or not.
But he did.
I hope Dave watched it, and I hope he enjoyed it, 'cause I chose it, 'cause he complained that I just choose silly gimmick matches. Padum.
You can't get over that, can you?
No, I
didn't like that match.
I'd like to. I've noticed something about my matches that always have blood in.
I said that to Jake the other day. I was watching this new one. Spoiler alert. It had blood in it again. I don't think you've picked one yet that hasn't got blood.
Next week, match without blood that I like.
That's gonna be that's your challenge for next week. No blood match.
Right. So this week's match is Stunning Steve Austin versus The Natural Dustin Rhodes.
Ooh, aye, gold dust.
For the WCW television title at WCW Halloween Havoc 1991.
Right. Aye.
Reet. Alright, Neville.
Oh man, Neville man.
Big Nev.
Right, first of all, I really enjoyed this match. So it was for the television, what was it? Television or TV?
Television title. TV title. I think it changes.
TV, wasn't it? I think that's a great idea. So that belt was fought for every week.
On TV, yeah.
Every single week.
Well, the concept, if you probably go back there, it probably wasn't because wrestling. But the idea was, and what it reminds me of is like when John Cena did the US Open, like that was amazing. Like you knew it was going to be the best match every week.
They wrestled for like 10 times more than the actual championship belt though. It was like if you had that belt, you wrestled more than the champion probably. I think they should bring that back on one brand anyway. I'm not sure which one.
What would you drop? Cruiserweight?
US. I think the cruiserweights are going to get worse. I would drop the cruiserweights. I don't know. I don't think that the cruiserweights need their own program. I've said this before. They maybe should have the cruiserweight championship just on Raw, and then have a TV championship maybe on SmackDown. I think that would be good. Or even on NXT, they could have like a secondary belt on NXT.
What would be good about it is if they did like a tournament on telly for the WWE Television Championship. Like, it would be something new. Drop one of the other belts, and people will be excited about it because it's like, and it's like you're gonna put it on your best wrestlers, so it's gonna be like a Sami Zayn, a Kevin Owens, like Dolph Ziggler, whoever.
They've still got one in Ring of Honor, and it still works really well.
We still have the TV Championship.
Yeah, they've still got one. Don't know off the top of my head. Is it Bobby Fish at the minute? Possibly. Don't know. Could be making it up. The match was great. I think the time limit in the match is what made it so exciting. So was it a 15? It was
15 minutes. Like all of the TV Championship matches had a 15 minute.
So it was a 15 minute time limit. I remember a time where like most of the matches had time limits usually. But
they were actually like during this they announced it.
Yeah, and they were counting down, and it made it really exciting. It was really back and forth, the match, like seriously back and forth. You forget how good Austin was in the ring because
before he broke his neck.
Yeah, because you focus so much on being like a BS willing brawler that sort of was running wild after Vince McMahon. You sort of forget that he was actually pretty good in the ring. And it's the same with like Dustin Rhodes. How long has his career been? Like he has.
That's 91, and he'd wrestled. I think he debuted like 88, 87. Because he was on one of the first WrestleManias or SummerSlams or something.
And he's just getting a push again to the mid card of Raw.
Promos.
He's a legend. Surely he's got to go up there with the legends.
What made me this match when I rewatched it? I think they missed a little bit of a trick over the years. Yeah, like Goldust has been successful, but I thought he was a great babyface.
Yeah.
Like at this point, like got loads of sympathy from the crowd. Like he could have been more of a serious like character than he was.
He was like, it's the blonde hair and the blue eyes and everything as well. He was quite like like the crowd were like really behind him as well. But obviously they tried the Goldust thing, and Goldust it's probably one of the characters that kicked off the Attitude Era. When you saw Goldust, you'd never seen anything like that before.
He'd looked at gimmicks as well. Undertaker, Kane, Goldust. What else has stood the test of time?
Nothing. There was a moment where he got thrown out the ring, where he got like he just whipped him out the ring. Austin whipped Dustin out the ring, and he like bounced out the ring and through the ropes. I thought that was really good. It was a really physical match with, of course, blood, which added to the physicality of the match, I thought. I've just put at the bottom of my thoughts here that would just bring back the TV Championship. That was me sort of closing thought on it. I thought it was a really good match. People should go out and watch it. It was good.
What about JR's commentary throughout the match?
Yeah, it's that warm and fuzzy commentary again, isn't it? It's like, it makes you feel good watching it.
He put both of them over the whole time. Like he makes it. It was like before he got Bell's palsy and stuff as well, so his voice was clear.
Like such a good commentator. Everything he says, all the even the little like puns that he does. So I don't know who the last was that was standing outside the ring.
Lady Blossom.
Yeah, she said something like she isn't going to be smuggling much in there. She was wearing very revealing clothes. He's funny. He's like obviously knows
endearing
everything there is to know. His voice is so like just part of your childhood, isn't it? I hope they bring him back for more. Like, I hope
what he's gonna do? He's gonna do the UK show apparently.
Really?
Yeah, they're gonna mix.
Do you think they're gonna just do it so he does it like over the top of it? Like,
well, that's how they did the first one.
That's how they done the first one.
I think they're just gonna do that.
They're just gonna do that, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
It's exciting. I've drawn a blank.
don't draw a blank.
I have drawn a blank. Yeah, so I think like that because I've picked matches from this era in WCW for 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Like it's one of my favourite eras of wrestling. Like the first VHS tapes I had were like early 90s WCW. Absolutely amazing.
It used to be on ITV, didn't it? Because I used to be able to watch that and I couldn't watch WWF. It was that was sort of the start of them flying high, wasn't it? And sort of being they were the main men for a bit, weren't they? WCW.
Well, yeah, like 90, like from the Hulk Hogan to turning heel, and like WCW blowing up. They were like for weeks and weeks and weeks to beat Raw, 60 weeks or something daft like that.
Mm-hmm. Then Vince Russo came.
And then they lost loads of money on doing things like paying Kiss $250,000 to play for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Paying Master P like millions for playing for 2 minutes.
Vince Russo happened.
Vince Russo doing like
making himself champion.
Buff Bagwell's mum on a pole match.
And then he brought David Arquette in, doesn't he? He made him champion. Good times. Good company ruined.
Well, that's it. Imagine if WCW had still they had more financial clout behind them at the time than WWE. There's no way they should have ever gone bankrupt. Like they should have never. Like if that's crazy, that would don't happen. And it's been bad for wrestling because they've had no competition WWE.
But then TNA went and made all the stupid mistakes again. You would have thought that they would have learned from the past, and then they started building up a massively good roster. Yeah, it was maybe older people, but they had younger people as well. They just weren't getting used properly. The likes of Bobby Roode and people like that. They sort of like when the older wrestlers like Ric Flair and that started coming in, they got shelved a bit. Started making all the same mistakes again, really, didn't they?
Those guys are being handled so well now in WWE.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It's too. I'm like if I come on to my WrestleThoughts later on, I'm going to talk about some stuff later on. I don't want to get too much into it now, but it feels that they're building main event characters like they're in NXT now. They're building ready-made main eventers, and they're going straight into WWE as main eventers.
Because Jake's not here, why don't we go straight into your WrestleThoughts?
Okay. Wrestling thoughts. I've had a thought and I'll share it with you. Wrestling thoughts. I hope you have a wrestling thought too. Doopy 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 doo. Doopity doo.
That was beautiful, man. It's one of my favourite movies ever.
It's definitely up there with mine as well. That leads seamlessly into my seamlessly did I say? Seamlessly. Your wrestler has shit stained underpants.
Why is that your wrestle thought?
No, I was just thinking it is a wrestle thought.
Why is he
what was he called again?
Let me tell you. Maximum Impact Chad Powerstain. Steen.
It's just like it just brings thoughts of skid marks into my head.
He's part German,
He's
Steen.
Part shitty kegs. He's got like shitty underpants. He's got like that.
Well, I'll never use my imagination again. You've hurt me feelings. That's why I keep my imagination in a little
Keep
box.
it to yourself. Right. Are there too many main event stars in the WWE right now?
Yes, I think they need to push a few people down into the mid-card. Like that Fatal 5-Way was great, but like it's because they didn't have a good one-on-one match to go into Extreme Rules.
This is probably where NXT is not so much failing, but like
too good
because they're building main event stars, ready-made main event stars, or they're pulling them in from other places, sort of like Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura. The only thing WWE can do with these characters when they push them onto the main roster is ruin them. Sami Zayn, worse than he was in NXT.
I still think he'll eventually get on the top belts.
They've almost made him annoying though, haven't they? Don't you think? They've made him like
the whole like plucky.
Yeah, they've made him annoying. A little.
I'm not annoyed by him.
You're not annoyed. You must know what I mean. They've made him sort of like.
I do know what you mean.
It's almost as if they've tried to make him annoying, like an annoying like loser.
Like I think the problem with that is they've tried to recreate Daniel Bryan rather than just like letting it organically be whatever it is.
Yeah.
They've tried to do the whole kept the whole thing with Mick Foley and him wanting to leave Raw and that. They've tried to make it like that rather than doing something else.
Right. Okay. Who else have they ruined? So Shinsuke Nakamura's going down that almost being ruined road.
Yeah. But NXT just nails things.
There's still hope for Shinsuke though. He's just gone up. This is another problem. There's too many matches that are like multi-person main events right now because
you want to cram everyone in.
They want to cram all these main eventers in they've got, and like the mid card's suffering, I think, because there's no. How many times are we going to watch Dean Ambrose versus The Miz?
Dean Ambrose.
How are we gonna what becomes of Dean Ambrose now? Now who's he gonna go on to wrestle?
Like looking at that Fatal 5-way, Dean Ambrose ain't gonna get back in the main event picture, not for a while.
Nah.
Like all of those other guys, like Seth, Finn, Roman, are all ahead. Bray, they're all got to be ahead of Dean now.
And they wanted, in my eyes, them four especially, they've wanted to protect from a Brock Lesnar squash match. They have.
I know, but like I'll get into it later.
They have though. I think they've seen Samoa Joe as a person that they haven't got anything to do with. Like, don't cry.
It can be so good.
Don't cry though.
It can be so good.
Would Samoa Joe not be good at on the mid card though? He would be like
US champ.
He was like X Division in
US
TNA.
champ. IC champ.
US IC champion. Like he would be a really good like.
He's legit, and
flag bearer for them titles, and it would be good for the championships as well because he's legit mint. That was my first thought. Anyway, I just think there's too many.
That's a very good wrestle. That's a very good wrestle thought.
I just think
as they keep cultivating NXT, it keeps getting better.
So Bobby Roode, for example,
you put Bobby Roode on the main roster.
He's gonna go straight to the main event,
of course,
surely. So what's that? Another like multi-person match because there's like.
Or what are you gonna do? You're not gonna scale back that massive production you've got, where he's like with the pianos and all that. You're not gonna scale that. You're not gonna make it that worse.
Nah.
Like that's right. Like,
and I'm sure that they'll build.
He has to go straight to the top.
They'll surely like build by the time Drew Galloway, McIntyre, whatever he's called now. By the time they've built him up on NXT, he's going to be main event. Black's going to be main event. They're just churning these people out, like and they're building them up. They're building their characters up. I think
I prefer watching NXT to WWE. Excuse me, to WWE.
Burpee.
Like I think it's dumb to have Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. I know we keep going on about that match, but like it's dumb to have that match on WWE TV because it makes everything else look not as good.
Yeah.
Like,
but then
NXT is so good it makes WWE wrestling not look as good.
Do you think that that's the NXT crowd as well though, because they're kind of like they're sort of like an ECW crowd, aren't they? The way they, even with that chants and stuff.
But
like
it's
that,
like translating into big arenas, like Takeover, Gargano versus Authors of Pain. Like that was like the fans were rabid, and there was like how 10,000 of them.
By the time they come to main roster, they're going to be
Champion Gargano.
They're surely going to be main eventers.
Do you not think they'll Sami Zayn them?
I think they'll push them sort of in a way that they've done Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, where they're doing this fight forever sort of thing.
Yeah, they could do. Yeah,
I think they'll probably do something like that with them, but they're pushing them out, they're churning them out. It's like
not a bad problem to have though.
It's not a bad problem to have.
Is too good.
It depends if they're going to do anything with them on the main roster though, because like I say, the mid card it's piss poor really.
It's confusing.
Booking them.
It would be confusing as well to watch like Bobby Roode be like top guy on NXT for like years and then
but that's
come to the main roster and then like
maybe it's
be
like
in the middle of the park.
Just because you've been built up on NXT and like I'm sure this is the case like back in the Attitude Era when they sort of like jumped from WCW and into like Eddie Guerrero didn't come straight from WCW and jump straight into a championship match. He'd done like, didn't he fight for the European Championship?
Yeah,
and,
he
like,
went all the way through.
He went all the way through. Why was like just because you've been NXT champion? I don't think that's necessarily a golden ticket to the WWE Championship. As soon as you come out of the main roster, Finn Balor could have came onto that main roster and he could have. It was US title on Raw at the time. He could have had a little run with that maybe and just built him up.
But that's like people want instant gratification nowadays, don't they?
Yeah.
Like Finn Balor comes up, people want to see him in the main event straight away.
The thing is though, this week he wasn't even on Raw.
No.
Like
he was on the whatchamajigger, the dark match at the end.
Well, apparently it was noted Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer or whatever it is, who seems to know everything about wrestling ever, said it was simply because they had nothing for him to do. Finn Balor had nothing to do on Raw.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's like it's
and you're gonna add more to that.
Uh-huh.
But it's all about planning. Like look at Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens won the US belt, won the IC belt. Sorry. Got a Universal title run, which was quite successful.
Uh-huh.
He's now got the US belt.
Uh-huh.
Like Kevin Owens could easily slot in back into the main event picture, and people won't be like, "What's this dweeb doing?"
But that's what SmackDown are doing well, like a lot better than Raw. I think there was no need for The Miz and Dean Ambrose to go from SmackDown to Raw to start feuding for that belt again.
Yeah,
I thought the whole idea of the Superstar Shake-Up would have been to have some different sort of matches.
not the same one.
Not the same ones all over again. Like why they did that is beyond me. I don't know. But then Kevin Owens having the US Championship on SmackDown, that was good because we got to see AJ versus Kevin Owens, which we hadn't seen for a while anyway. But then who's he going to go up against next?
Who Owens?
What are they going to do with him?
SmackDown guys.
Who's he got at Money in the Bank?
He's in it.
He's in the Money in the Bank match.
Yeah.
So who's going to be wrestling the rest of that night? So we're going to have the women's Money in the Bank. We're going to have a tag team championship match that Breezango won't even be part of, which is mental in my view.
Who's in the tag match?
It's the New Day. They've just came straight back into a championship match with the Uggos.
Usos.
It seems like that Breezango as well. They've done loads of hard work to get to go over, and now they've just had to go because New Day are back. They've had to sort of like, is it politics? Wrestling politics? I don't know.
I don't think so. I think Breezango will get another chance.
But yeah, it's going to be another one of them SmackDown, where SmackDown pay-per-views where everyone's in the main event, so the rest of the card's going to suffer.
That's it. It should be about building it from like the first match to the last and having quality in between, and not just hiring everyone in the end. You like someone like Sami Zayn, you should always have in your opener, get the crowd hot. Like, I don't know. Wouldn't
you like to see Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn with the championship on the line? Because I don't think although we've seen obviously Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens lots of times in the past, I don't think we've seen it on the main roster.
Not wrestling for the IC belt?
I don't think, not like one-on-one, I don't think.
Yeah, that would be good.
For a belt on the main roster, that would be good. Yeah, that was my first roster.
That was a very good. I'm going to think about that more because I've not really thought about that. Is NXT too good? What do you think?
Get in touch with all them things I keep talking about. My other wrestle thought was Cody Rhodes. He's done with Impact now. He's going to be working full time for Ring of Honor in New Japan. I think what might happen with him is, I think we might have a Drew
Oh yeah, I hope so.
McIntyre sort of thing. I think he'll end up back on NXT at some point.
As this new like American
as a
Nightmare.
whole new sort of like with that sort of gimmick, it's almost scripted. You know what I mean? To happen.
Yeah.
But
it kind of flushes Stardust out of everyone's system, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was almost like it was. I mean, surely with his family history, he must have a good relationship with WWE. Like too good to stay away.
Yeah.
Forever. He's made a good go of it on the indies. It was interesting that I read something the other day. He'd been getting interviewed somewhere, and apparently there was plans for him to still be around when the brand split happened. And apparently what they were going to do was have Stardust on one brand and Cody Rhodes on the other, and I think that would have been really good.
Not a way though.
He would have been the hardest working person in WWE then, but
that would have been good.
It would have been interesting to see.
I liked Stardust.
I liked Stardust, but
when he did the cat bit.
Do you not think it went on a bit too long though? That was the problem. Like he should have had maybe just like a championship run or something like that with Goldust, but even when him and Goldust seemed to separate, he continued doing it. I think maybe they should have stopped that.
He had some good matches with Neville.
He had some good matches. He was great, but I think he lost a lot of credibility because of that gimmick as well. You forgot how good he was in the ring, and he's actually quite good on the mic as well. He's good.
Yeah, he's got that little bit of like the lisp as well, which makes like remind you of like Dusty.
Yeah.
Talk about all the roads. So
basically, if he came back, my thought was, do you think it'll be a sort of Drew McIntyre thing where he's like he's a bigger star, and he's better?
Because if you think about it, like he goes into NXT, a casual fan doesn't watch NXT. That's another 7 months of him on NXT before he comes back. People are, like by the time McIntyre is going to go back on the main roster and hopefully be a killer.
And then of course Cody Rhodes gets built up, and then he gets put on the main roster, and then shit, we've got another main eventer in the making.
Yeah. I don't know if they would put Cody Rhodes in the main event.
Ever?
Yeah. Vince has a funny relationship with the Rhodeses.
The Rhodeses. It's probably because he's had to pay for too much rehab for them.
Do you know that Virgil? Do you remember Ted DiBiase's?
Yeah, the
valet.
Yeah.
He was called Virgil because Dustin Rhodes is called like Virgil Runnels. It was like a.
Was it?
Yeah. And then when
didn't he go to WCW?
When Virgil went to WCW, he was called Vincent, and Dusty Rhodes was booking. And it was to have a go at Vince McMahon.
That is interesting. Didn't know that at all.
And like when Dusty Rhodes came to WWF in like 91, he made him wear those like yellow polka dot pants as like a rib. Had a funny old relationship. The Rhodes.
So do you think the
like Goldust? So we were talking about Dustin Rhodes from WCW, babyface, serious babyface. Yeah. Like he stuck that on him when he came to WWF. It's like Stardust for like Cody. It's like almost taking the piss out of Rhodes.
I don't know why. Do you think they don't get on? They make him out to be such a legend now, though, don't they? With the whole.
Well, that's what happens when you die.
Andre the Giant. Oh no, I'm thinking about
about
the tag team thing. I don't know why I mentioned Andre the Giant.
Tired.
Election night last night. Stayed up too late.
Yeah. I was sensible. I only watched the first 2 past the post.
Well, I stayed up too late, and then I kept waking up and checking my phone.
You got good news though.
I did, yeah. Did you have any WrestleThoughts this week, Mark?
These are my WrestleThoughts. I'm gonna tell you them now.
You nearly done a rap there.
I don't know what this.
Do some rapping.
I don't know what that was about.
It sounded like you were gonna do a little rap about your WrestleThoughts.
You sound like Neville again. My WrestleThoughts is I'm super excited for Joe Lesnar. It's a legitimate dream match for everybody. I hope both of them are presented by beasts. Hope Joe does not steamroll Lesnar, as it would hurt his character massively, and I just want it not to be fucked up so badly. I think you think it's going to be.
I've been thinking about this.
I'm trying to be positive.
What's the word when somebody isn't really thought of highly enough? indispensable. Is that the word?
Dispensable.
Dispensable.
Yeah.
What's indispensable then?
You're like important.
Right.
Brock Lesnar is indispensable.
Dispensable. So they're trying to protect Bray. They're trying to protect him as the monster, scary person. Don't know why they've started now because I haven't thought about that in the past. They're also trying to protect Finn Balor because they obviously see him as the new
marketing
up and
guy.
coming,
T-shirt seller.
T-shirt guy. They could go so many ways with him. Who else? Seth is obviously Seth, and Roman's obviously Roman.
Yeah,
he can't.
You're not going to job Roman.
No. So yeah, I think he's just the guy who they think it isn't going to hurt as much for some reason. Oh, they don't care.
This is what I think is going to happen.
And Triple H isn't there to have him in his little team anymore.
This is what I think is going to happen.
What's going to happen, Mark?
They're going to book the match right. They're going to beat lumps out of each other. Joe's going to look really strong. Lesnar's going to win. I don't have a problem with Lesnar winning, but like Joe's going to be booked like a beast as well.
Who's face and who's heel in this match? They're obviously booking Joe to be the heel.
Brock Lesnar's face.
Really?
Yeah.
How?
Because
I don't like it when
because they're garnering the sympathy from him. Like, even though Paul Heyman like comes across as like the arrogant like advocate person, he's just a bloke. So Joe like choking him out. That's where the sympathy comes from. But I don't care. Like heel or face, I don't care. I just want them to batter each other, and it'll be done right.
I just think
Joe's been all the way through his career, all the way through NXT, and even since he's come on the main roster, he's been presented as legit. Mm-hmm. They need to continue with that. He can lose, but he just needs to be like
maybe they just think he is that good that losing won't hurt him as much as everyone else.
Do you know what I think is the reason though? Vince seems to like to stick it to the like internet fans.
I was thinking that as well. I was thinking because he's a product of TNA, Ring of Honor.
Everyone on the message boards like Joe's so good. Like you try to do with Daniel Bryan.
Well, Kevin Owens kind of got the title took off him pretty quickly off Goldberg as well. But that's different.
I think they've treated
Goldberg
Owens well.
was WCW, wasn't he?
I think they've treated Owens well. Like,
what was I going to say before? I forgot.
It's easier for Owens because he plays cowardly heel, so you can have him lose and it doesn't hurt his character. Well, Joe's always been a killer. He's never been a cowardly heel.
I hope they don't book it so as they build him up to, like Joe to be like a big threat to Brock Lesnar, and then Brock just comes in and squishes him.
Well, this is what I worry about.
I think this might happen.
But what are they if they're going to do that? What are they paying Lesnar for? Like, so
he's keeping that belt warm until Braun Strowman comes back.
Yeah.
Braun Strowman will be the one that takes that belt off him.
Braun.
He's a product of WWE. He is.
He's going to wait 6 months?
He's there. I think he will. I think he'll just have that belt until...
And I don't mind. But just let the match be competitive. Let me enjoy it.
But
I don't even think Joe should win.
I think you're going to cry at the end of that match. Because I think you're going to have like, really sad moments where Joe gets flattened.
Yeah.
Unless Triple H comes back and helps him.
I'll be down with that as well.
Because that would be good. Triple H must be due a comeback.
He's going to come back.
This Kurt Angle thing must be like... Do you think this Kurt Angle Texan thing could be something to do with it?
Could be.
And then like Stephanie's coming back.
Who else is it going to be?
I don't know. It's a bit of a strange... Why?
Anonymous GM?
Could be wee Bobby Lesnar.
Wee Bobby.
Why? What has this got to do with Corey Graves? I don't understand what
yeah, they keep like whispering and stuff, don't they?
Stupid. It's stupid.
But like getting back to Corey, like talking about Corey Graves, like on commentary at the end of Extreme Rules, he said, "Oh, like there's not many dream matches left in the business, and this is legitimately a dream match." Like it makes me think they wouldn't say that unless they were going to present it as like
Vince McMahon enjoys crushing dreams.
He does, but why would you? I give them loads of my money. Like, don't crush my dreams. Don't crush my dreams.
Do you not think it's because like Brock Lesnar, right? He's a beast.
Yeah.
But he's over with the kids as well.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe, it doesn't matter how hard they try. I don't think he'll ever be over with the kids.
Nah,
You're
right.
Because he's not a kid's superstar. He's a superstar that you like.
Yeah.
You like him so much because he's really for grown-ups.
He's a good wrestler.
He's good.
Like
Uh-huh.
serious ass kicker.
Yeah.
I said kisser, the kicker.
Kiss my ass match. They could have one of them. Remember
I
that?
hope we don't have that anymore. So yeah, basically I hope they don't spoil that.
Well, they're gonna.
Obviously I watched Extreme Rules this week, didn't have a chance to watch NXT, so I'm going to have 3 weeks worth to watch.
I did.
Heavy machinery on it, I've heard.
They were, yeah.
So
I'm not going to ruin it for you.
I'm getting me wank rag
I'm just
out ready. I'm getting me John Cena cum rag out. Yeah, that was too much. So,
good job, Jake's not, yeah.
I thought it was stupid to have Dean Ambrose get disqualified in it. If he gets disqualified, he loses the title stipulation on a show called Extreme Rules. That was dumb.
I can't remember what happened. It was a forgettable match.
Which takes us to my next point. I think Dean Ambrose is missing something.
I can't
put my finger on what it is. I know people of all ages who like him. Kids like him. My nephew loves him. Like Helen and Rufus, who we know, like him. They're like adults. Serious
Even
adults.
Helen said to me she was over him the other day.
Like, I liked him when he was John Moxley on the Indies. I really liked him then.
Remember, it was last Money in the Bank when he won it.
Yeah.
And me and you were thinking, because it seemed like they'd done that whole thing where he was like, and I might win it. Because it was when Seth and Roman were feuding, I think. Yeah. And me and you were like, oh, that would actually be quite good if Dean Ambrose won the championship. At that point, we thought that was a good idea. But over the course of this year, like, we've both decided that we really dislike Dean Ambrose.
I don't know, but I genuinely can't put my finger on why it is.
I don't know, because
I used to really like him.
I actually think he's good on the microphone. Like, he's good at cutting promos. He's like different. He's funny. He's like
different to the others.
But then when he gets in the ring, it's sloppy. I think. Do you not think it's sloppy? It's almost like he's fumbling around the ring.
Some of his moves, like
pick as a winner, Mark.
I'm just picking a massive snot out.
Woo!
Yes, like, I don't know. There's just something about him that I should really like him, but I don't. And I can't put I wish I could put my finger on why. I'd like to see him. You know, when he was John Moxley, he used to wear black tights, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, just like duds, and a leather jacket and a chain. Yeah. And that was much better. Much better.
I don't know. I think they need to do something with him. I think they need to take him out of maybe any sort of title picture and start building him up again. Maybe a bit time away would do him good.
I was just thinking like, have an injury angle, bring him back with a slightly different gimmick.
Yeah, they need to do something. Change of gimmick may be needed. I don't know what they would do with him though, because he's done the whole lunatic fringe thing.
But you know why they won't? The same reason that they won't change John Cena heel, because kids buy
t-shirts.
My nephew will not thank us for saying this. Literally, when I told him John Cena wasn't going to be, when Dean Ambrose wasn't going to be wrestling, when we went to see WWE Newcastle, he cried.
Really?
Yeah, he was that he was that upset about it.
What did he do when he cried?
I think I just said, she's still wrestling. There's Jinder Mahal in the ring.
Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, try to pacify him with Jinder Mahal.
At the time, he would have not known, probably.
I said, do you want another Starburst? No, but like, he loves Dean Ambrose, and like, I think he sells a lot of t-shirts, so he ain't going to change him.
Nah.
And you know what? I think he's a natural heel.
Maybe that could be his change.
That's the problem.
It's the same with Roman, and it's the same with. I preferred Seth as a heel as well.
Oh, yeah,
and like it's the same.
But then you've got too many heels because there's so many good heels. It's so hard to be a good babyface.
What about bringing the Shield back as a heel faction, just to sort of like get them all back over again? Maybe Seth doesn't really need it though, does he?
Roman's the most over guy in the company.
I don't know.
But it's like. It's just...
It's proper heat though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's proper heat.
It's like real dislike.
And I see being over as the crowd reacts, and he gets the biggest reaction out of all of them.
And it's not just boos though, you are hearing cheers for him as well.
Birds. Kids.
I don't know. I do. I think Dean Ambrose needs to change. Have you had any more thoughts? That was a good one.
I've had loads. This is how I would, when the Hardys split up, I would not have Brother Nero. I'd have old school babyface Jeff Hardy. There's your babyface right there. And I would have...
He's a good babyface. Now, he is a babyface that works because the crowd generally, like, people love him.
Yeah, he's not shit.
It's the same as AJ. He's like... They were trying to book him as a heel. And although I prefer AJ as a heel, what's the point when the crowd are cheering for him?
Yeah. What was the point? I'm tired.
Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, so...
Brother Nero.
I wouldn't have Brother Nero. I'd have babyface Jeff Hardy straight in the main event picture. And I'd shell out the money and I'd have Broken Matt Hardy. That way you've got best of both.
He needs it. I think if
you've got best of both worlds then.
If Matt went on his own now without that broken gimmick, I think he'd end up
back in
TNA
wrestling Ezekiel Jackson.
Yeah, back wrestling Ellsworth or something like that.
I think, and that would solve both problems. You've got like the Hardy name, like in the like.
Can you imagine Broken Matt versus Bray or
Broken Matt versus babyface Matt Jeff Hardy?
What about like they could do the whole thing all over again though, where like
Broken Matt could wrestle everyone.
They could do the whole thing all over again, where eventually, somewhere down the line, after they've give Jeff babyface run or a championship run or something like that, they could even do the whole Brother Nero thing later down the line, where they're back to being a tag team again. It's got years worth of like running in it.
I was looking at them though after the cage match and like the camera was on them. It was like I'd want babyface Jeff so bad.
That cage match was because wrestling all the way through it.
Yeah,
it just made no sense whatsoever. What was going on in that match?
They went for like an old school like not pinfalls but like try and escape.
But surely I was sitting watching it with Jake and I just kept thinking all the way through it, you would just let the first one escape and beat the shit out of the other one.
Well, they did that where Jeff Hardy got out of Matt and they kept like bashing him back down.
But then they weren't like getting out the door. They could have just walked out the door.
I enjoyed it.
Nah.
Because
wrestling.
I would say because wrestling.
It was one of the best matches of the night. Well, there was that one and there was the
Fatal Five.
The main event was quite good.
Neville and Aries was great. I've got some WrestleThoughts.
I've got some wrestling news.
What?
You do yours first.
Right. So, shall I continue with just general WrestleThoughts?
Yeah.
This is absolutely pissing me off.
What?
And keeping us up nights. Sheamus and Cesaro.
Yeah.
Their name that comes up at the bottom when they're introduced needs to say the bar. It still says Sheamus and Cesaro. It needs to say the bar. It's untidy, is what it is.
Do you think that? Do you think the bar's a good name for a tag team?
I think it's a brilliant name. I like all this.
Yeah.
I think they're doing it because they want to have Sheamus and Cesaro as singles down the line.
Yeah.
Just call them the bar.
They should do that. I agree.
It's a good name. It means something. They're already doing it.
And it still makes them feel like they're a tag team that they've just stuck together because they've got nothing else to do, doesn't it?
Yeah. You can still split them up later. They've got matching gear now. They've like got synchronized entrance.
Yeah, they've got the shades and stuff like
Call
that.
Call them the bar.
The bar.
It's untidy.
The bar.
Sheamus and Cesaro makes me think that you're going to split them up next week.
Yeah.
So when you do split them up, it's not going to be like a shock.
Is it as untidy as creating a wrestler on a computer game?
It's similar. It's similar.
What? Is it just because like you might have to face someone that's not real?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
I know. Don't even get started on my brain. What else? Talk about Dean Ambrose.
Back to the bar.
Yeah, back to the bar. That was it. Messy.
Messy bars.
I watched my favourite match on Extreme Rules was Austin Aries and Neville.
Neville man.
Did you have some news on them, or was it different news?
Yeah, but I don't know what your news is yet. You need to tell me your news because
no man, like you had news when I mentioned.
Oh, mine's on these.
I need to
talk about. Yeah.
Do you want to tell me your news before I talk about?
No, you go first.
Right. So I love the match.
It
was my favourite match on Extreme Rules.
I was a bit sad at the defeat again. Third one.
They did it cleverly. So first of all, I think Neville leads a hell of a lot of credit for his heel persona. Arguably the best heel at the moment on telly.
He's up there with Jinder with biggest transformation of the year, I would have thought.
Great facials. Like when he speaks, the hate in his voice is like so believable.
You little Tina.
He doesn't say that. That would be funny. It's all about like people are like basically beneath him and like shit, and it's so believable.
He is the king of the cruiserweights.
I genuinely didn't think he had it in him when he was like happy babyface, like Mr.
He always was good, but he was always missing something, wasn't he?
Like Dean
Which
Ambrose.
Corey Graves keeps reminding us of.
He was like Dean Ambrose. He did a dragon screw leg whip in the match, which was one of the smoothest I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I'll absolutely like. I think I stood up. It was so good. Then I sat back down again. I love Aries discus forearm, as he calls the 5-arm, which he nicked from Terry Taylor in WCW in 1991.
Really?
Yeah, the 5-arm.
I didn't realise that Austin Aries was 39 years old.
Yeah, he's seasoned. He's a seasoned veteran.
Mm-hmm.
It was a technical, hard-hitting match. I love seeing these two guys that are absolutely like top high flyers batter each other instead. Like, I really enjoyed it. I thought the finish was great. Red arrow to the back into the rings of satin was like
what
brutal.
A beautiful
brutal.
red arrow it was as well. It was absolutely like picture perfect.
I've never seen it at the back as well. It was brutal.
Uh-huh.
But then you had Neville tap out on the outside, like to the last chancery in the middle of the match.
Yep.
And then after he was beat, Aries sat on the outside the ring and he like smirked, and he was like, it told him in story like he knew he had him.
Yeah.
So there's another match in there. One more match, I think.
Do you think there's another match in there? 4 matches?
I would be happy.
There's no one else to wrestle.
I would be happy with another one.
I've heard different. This is my news on your thoughts that Austin Aries might be taking a little bit of time off.
Injuries.
He's got a few niggling injuries, so he might.
He had the rock tape on his shoulders. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's got a few niggling injuries. He got interviewed, I read, on something the other day, and he might be taking a bit of time off now. So that just means we're going to get somebody crap from 205 Live.
Could be Jack Gallagher, who I love.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. I thought that was quite close, the last match.
Well, who else could... Who else?
Do you know what I really like? But he couldn't wrestle Neville because he's a heel. It's Drew Gulak's no-fly zone.
I hope they don't put Rich Swann
back in,
because that's what he said at the end of their tag match.
Yeah,
one of them said he should be back in contention for the Cruiserweight.
That was a weird one.
Now. But I don't even know where that one came from. There was like no build up for that match whatsoever.
Noam Dar. So I think it's Noam Dar and Alicia Fox. Noam Dar went out with Rich Swann for a bit. Sasha Banks was there.
It was just to find something for Sasha to do, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like we've got nothing else for Sasha to do.
And one thing, like, you should always have something for Sasha Banks to do. Just like...
Instead of making her dance with Rich Swann.
I like that dancing. She's got a nice...
Dancing wrestlers don't do it for me.
I know, they're like so serious.
I'm not so serious. My 2 favourite wrestlers are Breeze Dango.
Right, yeah. So it has to be right. It has to be right funny. For you. It has to be right for the correct.
It has to be right funny, not like just dancing. Dancing's not funny. It's stupid.
So anyway, yeah. Aries and Neville, one more match, please. But based on what you're saying, but I'd rather Aries got like healed up. You know what?
I would like to see him go away because I'm sick of seeing him get beat. I'd like him to come back and maybe win that championship.
Do you know what I'm sad about?
What are you sad about?
Aries isn't like a main roster guy.
He is, yeah.
Like he's not like a.
Surely he should have got an
that's a TNA champion.
He should have probably had a run as NXT champion at some point as well.
I think that was fast tracked into the 205 Live
because it was shit.
Because I think he could have had his NXT championship match.
Yeah, but it was poo. They needed some big names in 205 Live, and
they still do.
They still do, yeah.
You've got Jack Gallagher, Neville, and Aries, who are legit. Like Kendrick.
No, I can't see that championship running him.
Ali, Mustafa Ali
gets on me wick.
TJ, they need some like well-known cruiserweights.
I don't know why they've done the heel. Maybe they've done the heel turn with TJ Perkins.
They've turned him back.
Have they?
Turned him back face.
What happened?
Neville attacked him or something.
Did he? Okay. And then he's face again.
Face again.
Oh my god, that lasted all of 2 minutes, didn't it? Right, are they all your thoughts, or have you been thinking
I've
more?
got one more.
My God, you must have lay awake for 2 weeks.
Great Balls of Fire. What the fuck?
I wonder, has this reference to Brock Lesnar's sweaty balls when he's fighting him out? Have you noticed how Brock Lesnar gets like so wet when he's wrestling?
He's a sweaty man.
He is
I think
a
he's
sweaty
like because
man.
he's so white.
I couldn't. So I'm training for the Great North Run at the minute, right? And on a sunny day, and I'm running, like sweat drips into my eyes, and it hurts, and I can't like. Sometimes I've got to stop and like wait for my eyes to stop. How does that not happen to Brock Lesnar? He like drips of sweat. Surely it must be going in his eyes. He must be blind for half of his
Maybe he's because he's got like such a sloping brow, it like
concaved head
drips off.
Maybe. I don't know.
Shall we go into it?
What?
Pièce de résistance.
What's that? Are we gonna go straight into Wrestle Poems?
What else could we do?
Nothing, really.
Nothing.
No.
Jay's not here with his quiz.
Yeah, no. Stupid.
Stupid idiot. Here is my wrestle poem. It's called Dream Match.
Ooh.
I wrote it. I finished writing it about 10 minutes ago.
I was gonna say it wasn't.
I had no, like, what's the word? I had no inspiration this week until about like a couple of hours ago. So here we go. Dream match. Brock versus Joe. I can't wait. When I watch, I'll drink a crate. This match up must be fate. We are interested, have taken the bait. It's very important, it has to be great. My snacks will be ready on a plate. Fans will be pouring through the gate. A new Joe t-shirt sent through freight. Please don't wreck this, Vince mate. Not booking both guys as killers, I will hate. Brock versus Joe, I can't wait.
Wow. You're so excited about that match, and it's going to be so disappointing.
It's not, man. Positivity. What is it the new day say? The power of
positivity. New day pops. New day pops. New day pops.
That's what we need. Positivity. It's going to be good. Like, or should I be thinking it's shit and then I'll be surprised if it's good? I can't help myself.
I think you should go off it being shit, because you don't want to be disappointed. And if it's good, you'll be pleasantly surprised.
I will not be disappointed.
You don't want to be disappointed.
I sounded more like Howard Finkel there.
Because I am Shinsuke Nakamura.
Racist Shinsuke.
Do you wanna hear my poem?
More than anything I've ever wanted to hear in my whole life.
It's called "Oh No, Cassius." You see what I did there? Oh no, Cassius. What are you wearing? For a man of your size, that's pretty daring. I don't want to see all of those wobbly bits. At least you have a t-shirt on that covers your tits. If I were you, I would hit the gym rather than wear all that crap you're in. You should eat less and go on a diet. Get thin, get a tattoo like your mate, Ruby Riott. Or don't give a hoot and take up naturism as a hobby. Let it all hang out and be proud of your sexy body.
I like it.
Nice. Do you like that one?
I did like it. It's such a shame because he's so good. but like he got sacked the first time for not looking after himself.
I know. He's still not looking after himself though, so I don't know why. Ooh, that reminds us, I've got some interesting more news.
This is all about higgledy-piggledy.
Dave's news. Good evening. This just in, I heard that Cassius Ohno is going to have a feud with Hideo Itami, who could be leaving WWE very soon because his contract is up and he is injury prone.
I am going back to Japan.
I'm going to say now that I am not going back to Japan, but I am actually going back to Japan when I get beaten off Cassius Ohno.
Yeah. It would make sense because if Itami's like going back to Japan, if his contract ends or they're getting rid of him, he's still got like quite a lot of name value So if Ono beats him, then that kind of puts him up.
Plus, you haven't seen NXT this week, and you actually done an interview where they asked if he was going back to Japan. So that might be.
I am not going back to Japan.
I'm not going back to Japan. I got so much more to achieve.
I will win a belt.
I have won nothing here. I don't know.
That was, I am from Russia. So yeah.
I don't know where he went with that one. That leads us nicely onto the Gonzalez Award. Maybe he's racist. Hideo Itami should get it this week.
We kind of just have racist Japaneseness.
I think the Rhodes family should get it this week.
The Rhodes family and like their many pap gimmicks. Stardust, Goldust, Virgil being called Virgil, Vincent being called Vincent.
Are we going to put Goldust in pap gimmicks, or are we going to put Goldust in that was the one that worked for you?
I don't know. Put Rhodes family in.
The Rhodes family.
I'm
not going to do the Ooh Gonzalez bit because I feel like Jake needs to do it.
Yeah. Gonzalez.
This week's Gonzalez Award goes to the Rhodes family. How'd you like that?
For Vince, giving them gimmicks of weirdness.
That's it then. That's the end of today's show. If you want to get in touch with us, if you want to be nice, if you want to be nasty, that's all good because we'll just rip you for it anyway. The email address is the WrestleFriends Podcast at yahoo.com. Look for us on Facebook. If you're looking for us on Twitter, it's at friends_wrestle, and on Instagram, the WrestleFriends Podcast. And you will be able to find us on SoundCloud and all them other things that you listen to things with your ears.
Good evening, WrestleFriends. Oh no, not good evening.
Good morrow. No, that's hello.
Night and night, WrestleFriends. Good Nacht.
Guten Tag.
That's hello.
That's it. No, rubbish.
Laters.